Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of the Steves, and today, chums, I want to answer a question that I've been getting quite a lot from people running the expedition and completing said expedition, and what you get when it comes to ship parts and the cache within inside of game. So let's jump on over. Firstly, I'm on my PlayStation save. Now this is the little Gek run that I did. I'm trying to make a Gek that looks like the plushie. Now I did use the cache while I was running the expedition, and I squirreled away quite a fair few parts. When I've got back from the expedition, those parts are no longer inside of the cache. I only had like about a quarter of the first line full, so it wasn't many parts. Once I'm back, I can transfer over parts and start using the cache as I normally would. But you see all these down here, all of these items down here, I actually put into my cargo at the end of the expedition. And I don't know whether that actually looked into the cache and whether I actually brought the stuff out of the cache. But anyway, I can store all this back inside of the cache, inside of that save. However, I also run the expedition on my PC save. So let's just bring up the old PC screen for a second. Here we go. And I did the same thing here too. However, I didn't bring anything back when it comes to ship parts once I completed the actual expedition on this one. But there we go. I can still use the cache even on this save though, so I can put those over there. Nice. So the answer to the question is no. You do not get to bring back the stuff from the actual expedition that you had inside your cache, so be prepared to lose it. What I would say though is after the expedition you can actually clone back over your ship from said expedition. So what I would say is if you have got a load of stuff inside of your cache, before you finish the expedition, try to put as many parts as you possibly can, all the parts that you want to keep from your cache, onto the ship that you want to bring back from the actual expedition. Now once you're inside of the spatial anomaly, if I can get down my own stairs, you head over to the console towards the back of the spatial anomaly, and you should be able to then copy over the ship from your expedition. So if you go on over to this console over here, bum-ba-dum-ba-dum, you've got two options at the very bottom, one for a multi-tool, transfer over, and one for your ship. So this is my ship. Here we go. Here's my ship from inside of that expedition. And as you can see there, it looks like a right monstrosity because I sandwiched on as many parts as I possibly can. So it kind of looks a little bit hideous, but yeah, there's a bit there that I like, the scaffolding and these side wings, which are pretty cool. There's a few bits there that I might want to keep. So all I need to do is hit copy, and it is going to cost you nanites. It's going to cost you a fair few nanites at that. But you can copy that ship over. Lovely jubbly. I don't really want the multi-tool. I mean, look at it. It's pretty primitive, to be fair. So anyway, now that I've got that ship, which should now be on that teleporter over there you go. It's on the landing pad. I can take that over into a space station. I can take off whatever parts I want. I mean, it's got some lovely bits and bobs on there when it comes to eye candy bits, hasn't it? And there you go. I can stick all of this into cache if I really wanted to. The only thing is, you have got to keep a minimum viable product when it comes to having one of these ships. So yeah, it's not as simple as you would like to hope to think. And this ship here, as you can see, it's not the best for navigating either. I had to go through a side door because one of the parts is actually jutting through it. So I'm going to go and try and turn this into a minimal viable product, and I'm going to try and fill my cache up with all the parts that I would have wanted from that expedition. So my advice would be, any parts that you want to keep, either put them in the cargo at the end when you're finishing off the expedition, or make a Frankenstein ship and bring back the ship at the end. But it is going to cost you a few nanites. Well, a few hundred nanites. Something to mention as well is anything that's interior based, like all these plants that I've grown and stuff like that, you're best to actually delete those before you delete them inside of the actual cache, because you're not going to get them back. So any interior dressing that you've done, make sure you remove that inside of the build mode. like so. Whoa! Yeah, I accidentally deleted that plant there, but there we are. There's even that room there. I've done that. Okay, plants. Try to do the plants first, and then the planters after. There you go. So get rid of all of that sort of stuff, because when you're doing the editing, that's not gonna, it's not going to work out for you too well if you do it the other way around. Okay, so that's all my interior stuff that I wanted to keep as well, and then all I'm going to do is head on over here, and I'm going to delete out all the stuff that I can get away with deleting. So I can't delete the cockpit, for example, because you need that. Landing gear, I've got to at least have one, so I can delete one, you know. So you've got to think, well, what is trash and what isn't? Now, a lot of the stuff on the top is just stuff that I Frankensteined on. It's cosmetic. So I can delete all the cosmetic-y bits off of here. Okay. Now, I've got to leave at least one shield on here. And I've got to at least one set of engines. So I can delete these engines. I can delete those ones. Because I've got one here, see? So, if I don't want that one anyway, that's fine. I can delete these. The only thing is, now that gun is not connected. I might just have to put a pulse engine back on there. But I've got to leave it as a minimum viable thing. So this shield here, technically I could leave that. I mean, I've got two on there anyway. But there you go. It still has got a rocket launcher. So I might be okay for the rocket launcher. I want to get rid of that as well. And these set dressing pieces, I want to get rid of those because I want those inside of my cache. And those ones. And there we go. I think now that is still going to fly. It's still going to pass the safety standards and the MOT, if you like. But yeah, I'm going to probably leave it that way. I mean, I've got quite a lot of shields already that I'm okay with. What's this under here? There's another engine there and another... Oh, is that a shield generator? It is. So actually, I could take those off too. And those. There we are. I think that is still a minimum viable flying product. Let's find out. Fly edits. Yes, that will still fly. That's still accepted. And you know, I can delete all that when I'm ready to make a Corvette, a new Corvette. So if I go over to my ship cache now, all those parts that were on my ship, I can transfer over into my cache here. So technically, I haven't lost out on any of the cached parts that I may have had from my expedition. There we are, people. Done, diddly and done. Loads inside of my ship cache now. So that would be my tips for ship cache ending off the expedition, because you don't get to keep what's inside your ship cache from the expedition, people inside the viewerverse. So I'm hoping that's answered the questions and how I would handle said ship caching issue. But yeah, it's up to you on how you handle yours. But there we go, people. That's pretty much everything for you on this video. So until next time, goodbye, and goodbye again.